Without Our Consent, written by Bob Skerstonas, narrated by Brandon Stone. Pesticides in our food system. Over the last 50 years, pesticides have made it into our food system. Basically, pesticides have become ubiquitous in the US food system. And this is a problem because pesticides have harmful effects on living organisms. Today, almost all commercial food products grown in the United States agricultural system have one of 1,000 possible chemical pesticides applied in our food system. According to data from the USDA's Pesticide Data Program, over 99% of samples of fruits and vegetables tested in 2019 had detectable levels of at least one pesticide residue. Today, there is 1.1 billion pounds of pesticides applied to crops in the United States annually, and approximately 5.6 billion pounds are used worldwide. There are multiple types of pesticide to rid the crops of insects using insecticides to eliminate insects, herbicides on plant species, elimination of rodents using rodenticides, removing bacteria using bactericides, controlling fungus using fungicides, and getting rid of larvae using larvicides. Why are so many pesticides used on crops? Because the pesticide industry is a $77.5 billion industry and expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 5.7% from 2020 to 2027. The opportunity profit is obviously the motivation to chemical companies to sell pesticides to farmers. There is a lot of data that supports pesticides and the horrible effects on all living organisms. A body of work published between 2007 and 2016 documented the negative impacts of pesticides on human health and our environment. These studies found pesticides had increased risk of cancer, neurological disorders, reproductive harm, and developmental problems in children. We cannot take for granted that agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, the US Department of Agriculture, the USDA, or Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, are looking out for our best interests in protecting people against the onslaught of chemical companies in an industry with revenues exceeding $77.5 billion every year and growing. Now it is 2023, and I am writing about my experience and the clues that consuming foods with pesticides give me an allergic reaction. Yes, I have allergic reactions from eating food that has been treated with pesticides. However, when I consume organic foods, I do not have an allergic reaction. To support this evidence, a recent study on organic foods established lower levels of pesticide residues compared to commonly grown foods. Other studies report that there is a small difference between organic food and food treated with pesticides. Organic farming restricts the use of synthetic pesticides, so organic foods generally have lower levels of pesticide residues. This can be particularly important for individuals who are more susceptible to the adverse effects of pesticides, such as pregnant women, infants, and people with compromised immune systems. In this latest study from 2019, there are 35 reports meeting the criteria for review. Too few trials met the health outcomes associated with organic food consumption. Studies analyzed the differences in pesticide exposure or different criteria. Positive results were observed from eating organic food and showed reduced incidences in the following: infertility, birth defects, otitis media, allergic reactions, preeclampsia, metabolic syndrome, high BMI, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Consuming organic food does not provide conclusive evidence that eating organic food provides safety from eating food treated with pesticides. However, there are a growing number of findings linking health benefits to eating organic food.